Hey y'all, it's Kadisha here and I'm back with another video. I wanted to talk about giving, and of course I had to come on here and represent, look, no, let me stop acting. Um, but I want to talk about giving because I was so blessed today, and oftentimes we think when we give, we think it's going to come back in the way that we gave it. And so I just kind of want to change that perspective and give us a new narrative and realize that when you give, and I've actually heard this before, however, me seeing it play out in my life, I'm able to actually tell you about it a little bit more versus just hearing somebody else say it and then I just regurgitate what someone else is saying. But yes, the Bible talks about, the Lord loves a cheerful giver, and that it's better to give than to receive. And I, of course, love to give. However, we do have to realize we don't just give, give, give. We have to be good stewards over what we have. So I want to first clarify that because most of the time we give to an extent where we're more so not even doing it for God, but we're doing it more to please people. And that's something that we also have to think about before we just give all out as to where we have nothing. And we're like, Lord, I was, giving all this, but I have nothing. So have discernment and basically know when and, why or where you should give. And not necessarily why, but allow the Holy Spirit to lead you in giving. But today I was able to actually see my giving be returned, and I was just like, and I see it all the time, but I feel like I saw it. The Lord just made it more clear to me today because I love to give, and I really like to give anonymously, and of course that's not always possible. So I'm not gonna say what I did because that person may see this and end up like, oh, it was you. So I ain't gonna tell you what I did here lately. However, I give, and of course I paid my tithes and offerings. And I do expect the Lord to bless me financially. Like that is not necessarily an expectation, but he says in his word to test him. And if he does not pour us out a blessing, he was like, test me in this and you will see that, I will basically pour you out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive when you give. However, we think that when we hear give, that we're only supposed to give money. You can give your time, you can give your patience. Uh, Okay, sorry, I see somebody out there. Your patience, you can give, it doesn't necessarily have to be financial. However, I do give financial, and the Lord allowed me to receive today in a way that I was not even expecting. And I was just like, what? Lord, what? And the Lord always gives me peace. So that's something I have to realize too. Like when I sow, when I give, the Lord will give unto me peace. I have peace. I have joy. I have all those things. And I do believe that it is because I do give. And I give with a cheerful heart. I don't give because, to say I give, but it's just like, no, I give it, and I'm glad that I'm able to give. However, I don't know if this is about necessarily giving up. It is about giving, but it's more so about realizing that when you give, don't think that the way that you gave is the way that you're is going to be exactly what you receive. Because today I was blessed by one of the members at my church, which I've known for a while. So I would say we're more of acquaintance. We've talked, and she gave me a big pack of water, and then she gave me some Lysol wipes, something I use and something I probably wouldn't necessarily buy, but I would definitely use. Well, wipes I do, but water not so much. I've tried to cut down and drink water from the refrigerator. But anyway, not go on a tangent, it was more so, it blessed me so much because I was not expecting it. I didn't ask for it, but the Lord's like, I want to give you this. And we have to be careful in that, especially when you're givers, that you're able to receive. Because I remember in a point of time in my life where I love to give because I feel like I've always been a giver. The Lord has blessed me with the gift of giving. And I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this video will also say, well, I have that gift too. And most of the time when we have that gift, it's hard for us to receive from people. And I want to also help you come out of that as well, because when you give, you are being a blessing to someone, but also you are being blessed by being able to give, because that's what the Lord talks about. It's more blessed to give than receive. And so the same is with them when they're trying to give you something. They are, blessing you, but they are also being blessed. And we never want to stop someone from being blessed because we think it's um, basically, I don't know what more holy, that's the word. We think it's more holy to say, oh no, I don't need this. And I used to be that way. And I didn't really necessarily think that I was trying to be more holy. But in a sense, that's kind of what it is. And people will probably have a better word for it. But yeah, it's just like, oh no, I don't need you to give me this, but I want to give. And it's just like, you need to be filled back up. You know, it's okay to receive things from people. And because today I was just like, no, you just give me one. I was like, just give me one bottle of water. And she's like, no, I'm gonna give you a whole pack. And I'm like, what? And that also just goes how the Lord does. He does exceedingly and abundantly above. It's like I ask for one and I get a whole pack of water. But I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but I really just want to share with you about giving. Like, it's so important to give. However, remember to receive, and also remember that how you give may not be necessarily how you receive something back. So I want you to be encouraged on today when you give, financially, and you may not see it come back in a way that you gave, but you have to remember, and I've taken this into account as well. I'm like, when I give, and I'll go to the store next week and I pay less for my groceries. And we don't realize, like, that is a form of God blessing you as well. Because if I had to pay the same amount for my groceries that I, basically take out of my giving, it's just like, well, I'm spending more money, but I gave and then I pay less for my groceries. That means I have more money. I have money left over, more money left over than I would have if I didn't. And I don't think we think about it in that way. We always think about if it's not in my hand, I guess it's not. I don't know if I'm not receiving it, I'm not actually getting blessed. And we have to think about, with your car, you drive down the road, you don't get into a wreck, you don't have to pay money to, I mean, it's just so many things that we can think about, like how our giving has actually blessed us. And instead of thinking about like why I didn't get this amount of money, it's just like, look at other opportunities where you would have had to maybe spend money that you didn't have to spend money, like, oh, I would have had to pay more for my groceries, but no, since they had a sale on the things that I get, I paid, $30 less than my groceries than I usually do. And take that into account. And I'm sure you have other examples that you can actually think about and say, oh yeah, I see the difference. I really just want to encourage us to just keep going, because of course life gets hard, but you're here for a reason, and I want you to keep striving, because the Lord has, not striving, I want you to keep trusting in the Lord, because he is definitely good no matter our circumstances, but he has his best for you as well. So thank y'all so much for watching. I actually went longer on the video today. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. But yes, thank you so much for watching. And like I always say, remember to be the change that you want to see in someone else. Until next time, bye.